Hello everyone, so we are team 21 and today we will present about topic 3 using MongoDB with Python for the web catalog, and there are 4 members in our group. The first one is Thanh Huê, Margarita Buzina, Monique Crawley, and Ahimhed Amagoti. And first, I want to introduce about the overview of our project. The main purpose of our project is to build an application for a retail shop, like an admin page, and we take into account the format of the web catalog. We also had to figure out how to handle the highly structured data in the database. And for this purpose, we decided to use MongoDB and Python. And also our web page catalog also have the CRUD functionalities so that the admin can interact with the web page so that they can store the data in a structured and comprehensive way. And for this project, our team will have to research about MongoDB and its connectivity with Python. We also use MVC architecture and the DAO pattern for more efficient code. And this is the trend of the MongoDB analysis. So as you can see, MongoDB has gained more popularity compared to another database, and like compared with PostgreSQL, MongoDB actually ranked the highest in terms of the most loved and wanted database. And now I want to introduce a little bit about the comparison between the traditional relational database query and also how MongoDB query for the its database. So as you can see from the left side is the way that the relational database query store or make the query to the database, and the right side in the MongoDB. So for example, when you want to select all from the products, the equivalent part of MongoDB will be db.products.file, and the same for select all from the products where the brand equal to A. So I can make the query in MongoDB as db.products.file where the brand equal to A. So the syntax is a little bit different, but it serves the same functionality. And the same for when you want to count for the result, let's select count from the products. For MongoDB, we have the DB products count. And also we can perform more select function, such as like select count from products where the price is higher than 30. The MongoDB query will be DB products count and the price will be greater than 30. For the insert into products, the way that MongoDB insert into the product, it will have like insert one or insert many. And finally, the delete query for the traditional relational database will be delete from the table. But for MongoDB, we have like delete one or delete many, like, and the exact query for that is db.products.delete many, and where the name equal to Apple.
So when it comes to MongoDB's strength, we found out that it is good for document-oriented storage. It is easy to manipulate the data. It is good for group work and collaboration. There are no complex joins in MongoDB. The structure of a single object is clear, and it is great for highly structured data. When it comes to drawbacks, we found out that it's not suitable for relational databases because joins are not supported, and normalization can reduce performance and create code complexity. So let's have a look at the user perspective of our program. Here's a little user story. As a store supervisor, I want to be able to check the catalog, add and delete items if needed. I also want the data to be structured so it is easy to work with. We created this user story to have a better understanding of how to build a good GUI that is easy to use. As was mentioned before, we used MVC architecture and DO pattern in our project. So let's have a look at our UML. We used model with all the fields of product to build the object of product. We also use the view to show it to the user, and the controller that does all the work, such as database connectivity and retrieving the data, deleting the data, so all the crowd functionalities. And it is using DEO pattern for the better structure. Here is the simple database structure of one record. So the product section document is connected to product information document. We have two collections and they're connected to each other. And here is data object structure example. Here, one of the collection is called category and the other is product.
Yeah, so the front end, it was built mostly with HTML and CSS, as well as two very useful frameworks. The first of which was Flask. It's a lightweight WSGI interface. Really what that means is it's a web server gateway interface, which means by sending URL patterns from a server to a Python application, you can run methods within that application. For example, if you were to go to /add, you could go to an add form or call an add method. One of the big advantages of Flask is it's a lot more lightweight than something like Django, and it's more customizable. However, it does a lot less for you outside of the box. But given that we were working with something a little bit non-standard like MongoDB, I felt it would be a good idea to start somewhere fresh. Along with Flask, I also used WT forms. It's just the next slide, if you don't mind. It's a form validation and rendering engine. It has built-in data validation and CSRF protection, which is cross-site or cross-scripting attacks. It's just a way that people use to steal your data if you're inputting it into forms. It works very well with most templating engines such as Jinja, which is the one that Flask uses. And it works really well because you can make form templates and you can deploy them very easily. With Flask and WT forms, it was easy to add web pages and forms on the fly, which is good when you're adding and removing from a database. And moving on to the front end with Ahmed.
All right. For the live demo, we will start by being on the home page. As you can see, we have all the products named here, and we can sort them out by categories right here. So if I want to see all the products in the food category, I can just click here and I can find all of them. Plus, I can add a new category or delete a new category. For instance, and now I have a new category called new category. I can add a new product for that new category. And we'll add it to the new category. And boom, now at the end of the home page, we can see our new product is created. We can click view to see it's all the information that we just created. We can also update the information. We can do new product plus plus, and now it will change the name to that. We can also delete any of the products just like that. And at the end, if we wish to delete the new category we just created, we'll just do this. And it's not there anymore. Yep, that's about it for the demo. And now Born will take over the summary.
Yeah, so in summary, it was very interesting working with MongoDB and the Python Flask front end. Mongo, it has a very unique document data model, which gives it really good scalability and availability. It is very easy to set up the data structure in Mongo, especially if you don't know how the data relates to one another. But there are some issues with MongoDB that we did encounter. One of which is as your data, if your data is relational, MongoDB may not be the best fit for it. For example, if say a product was in two categories, suddenly those categories are related, but you have to iterate through a whole document to get to them. And the other thing is, as you get into more complex use cases, best practices may not be as well documented or understood. So it can, things that have frameworks built for them or are very easy to implement, maybe they have a very well-used library, they may not have the same in Mongo. The other thing is, as people, very used to working with relational databases and SQL, it can be difficult just to think in that different mindset as to how those data structures in MongoDB work. It can be very easy to fall back into the patterns of relational databases and SQL when you're trying to build an application. I think ultimately it was a very good learning experience for us to work with MongoDB, but it was certainly challenging, and I would look forward to the opportunity to do so again. So I guess that's it. Thank you very much for your time, and feel free to ask us any questions you might have about our project.